Hi guys, welcome back to Whitty's Gear Review. We've done a lot of multi-tools here lately, and I ended up getting another one that somebody suggested. So we're going to kind of go over that. So this is a Bibury Multitool Pliers Pro is what it says on here. This was the one that had the most options. Kind of gives you a general idea of everything that's on this tool. So let's kind of get it out of the box and see where this one starts. And then towards the end, I'm going to kind of go over another tool that I have had for over a year. And we'll look at the comparisons. All right. So there we are. This one is the silver with the black. I will say that, one thing I like about this tool is it's a big tool. Let's look at some measurements. Overall, when it's fully deployed with the blade out, you're looking at 7 3/4 inches from front to back. If you're just looking at the handle, if everything was closed, you're looking at 4.5 inches. Just do it where you can see it. 4.5 inches, right at 7 3/4 inches with the blade all the way out. I will say one thing I do like is it's not perfect steel, but it's still an upgrade compared to a bunch that are like 3CR, 5CR. The blade on this one is actually 7CR. So that's not bad. The main material is 3CR13 on everything else, but the blade itself on this one is 7CR17. You can kind of see on the handle. The craftsmanship on a lot of these tools, I've got to say it for big, stainless scales or frame, they are made well. There's nothing wrong with that tool. And it's pretty bulky, I guess, weight-wise. We'll go ahead and stick it on the old Whitty scale here and see what it comes in as far as weight. Let's go to grams. You're looking at, stay still, 225 grams. We'll go over to, it's probably pretty close to a pound. 7.7 ounces. 7.6 ounces, somewhere in there. But you do have the liner lock on this. You can see it's got the little lock. Tells you, press there. You can close that. On this side, you have your scissors, which these are pretty big scissors. There we go. And we'll do the old paracord test on these. Yeah, right through them. No problem with paracord. So the scissors are pretty stout in comparison to some multi-tools. Believe it or not, it will not cut through paracord like that. They'll bind up, or they just won't cut through them, or it'll strand it off. I will say that, that could have been a little bit longer. I know they have to fit other tools in there. It's not really a hot point, but it's kind of narrow there for the size of the scissors, but still comfortable, still easy to use. It does have a liner lock on it as well. They're pretty sharp. Oh, they fold in normal. On this side, we just have a serrated blade, which is, still pretty long. The serrations feel real good on it. I don't see no problems. It also locks into place. Seems super sharp. Scissors. And then this is a tool that I think is is cool, right? So you have your diamond carbide knife sharpener file here. And then you have your cross cut file. But these tools come out somehow. Probably should have read the directions before I decided to do this. There we go. Not too bad. So it's a T connection. I'm not 100% sure. I need to kind of check and see if you could buy standard blade. Guys, if you have one of these, can you buy some regular T-shank files or saw blades? I know some of these are different. And they're squared at the end, and it won't allow regular tools to fit in there. Or like stuff you could buy at Lowe's or Home Depot. So if you've got one, let me know. But in here, in the case, we'll get over all the other stuff in here. But you have these wood blades, wood cutting blades that come with it. So you just pop one of them bad boys in, close her up, and now you're sawing wood. And that's a pretty big saw. If you're looking at overall cutting is 3 inches. It gives you an extra spare. And my thought was, if it's a regular standard T-shank, what I want to add to this is a regular metal blade to cut through nails or bars or anything like that. A metal cutting blade, if I could get one to fit in there. And then they have some more aggressive, bigger teeth wood cutting blades for a lot. It would make it a lot easier to cut through like wood, firewood or anything like that to process it. These are a lot, a little smaller, but about typical to what you get on a multi-tool. That's all that's on that side. The other side is just your tool and some extra carbide cutting tip or cutting heads. Fits on that side, and then you can kind of see it. I'm not going to yank it out of there, but there's a looks like a T8 tool in there to take them out, or T6. We'll go ahead and put the file back on for now. There we go. And it also locks. Shut that down. And that's all your tools that are on the outside. Get into the pliers themselves. These are not spring-loaded, but you can get a good look at the tip there. And then you've got your carbide cutting blade or cutting heads. So you've got it for your strand wire, solid wire. You got your crimpers down on this end. Pretty much standard now on almost all the multi-tools. Most of them are going to this style of setup. And over here is one of the things I like the best about this tool. Is you got a standard 1/4 inch. The only thing that I like the 1/4 inch, but I don't like the fact that it's a ball detent. Because trying to find other bits other than the ones that come with it is fairly hard, and trying to find a extension. Let's grab an extension that we have close by. Let's look at this DeWalt set. We'll grab an extension and I'll show you. Right, fits in there well. Makes you think, hey man, I've got an extension, I'm good to go. But without the little ball bearing detent, it's not going to stay in. So trying to find one of these that has that ball detent is hard. I do have a tool that came with a ball detent for another multi-tool that I could put in this kit if I wanted to. But what I've seen a lot of people do is, I think it's a 5.5 millimeter rare earth magnet, and they just drop it down in there with a little bit of glue on the end, super glue or epoxy. They put it on the end of a small nail and then shove it down in there, hold it in there until it dries, and then it'll accept bits like this and any standard bits. Now, you can't use, I don't think these, you could, but they almost disappear in there. But I guess that's not too bad. Let's look at a regular Phillips head and see if you would have enough to use it if there was a magnet in there. Yeah, you could get the whole end. It would just be real stubby. Let's see, we have a flat head. That looks like. Yeah, so I guess you could. But basically, you have almost everything you need here. Your standard stuff. Looks like T8, T10, on up. Phillips, or flathead, and then some hex. And then you have your Phillips here. I think I'm going to try to drop a rare earth magnet down in there, a small one with some epoxy, and see if I can't make the tool a little bit better. But that's all that's on this side. You jump to the other side, and that's the hodgepodge of your standard stuff that you see on all these, almost every multi-tool tool now. So you have your threader and your awl. Not super sharp, but sharp enough. You got your big flathead, smaller flathead. Then you got your can opener and wire stripper. So having this in here, you give up a lot of the tools that you see on other multi-tools. But all in all, I mean, it kind of gives you everything that I guess you would need in a multi-tool. And it's a good, solid, big tool. If you look at it in the plier configuration, let's look at it compared to some standard, I guess, needle nose pliers. So this is a standard, regular set of needle nose pliers that I've had forever that stay on my workbench. And, I mean, it's not that big of a difference between the two tools. That's a lot finer, of a tip. Sometimes it's easier to get inside tighter spots, with a true needle nose compared to how wide these are sometimes. But in comparison, this one's probably a ½ an inch longer. But that's the Bibury Pro. Now, what I wanted to show you was something that I've had in my go bag for years. Probably about 1.5 years, maybe even 2 years. Let's put all this back in here. And you can kind of start seeing the similarities. Let's close this. All right. So this is a rock tool. It's a little rounded there, more squared there. This has the pocket clip, plastic pocket clip. This just has a loop, which I kind of do like the pocket clip like that, I guess, if I'm going to carry it in the case. But when you pull out the tool, you can start by these. I mean, they're the same exact bits, right, as that set. Same exact head, same tool, same wood blades. Scales are a little bit different, but other than that, I'm pretty confident they're made in the same. They both age stainless the same way. I mean, I'm pretty confident they're made in the same exact factory. I mean, even the way the tape measures are on the ends looks identical. the tool configuration. We'll check those. Is identical. Same exact tool, same configuration. On that side, same thing on this side. Same ball detent to hold it in there. I don't believe there's a magnet in the end of this one either. There's not. We'll look at the blades. Start with the serrated blade. I mean, they're the same company. I don't care what anybody says. Or the same people make them, and then they just put their name on them. Like I said, the only difference between the two is the small difference in the scales. Other than that, everything else is identical. And they're both made out of the same material, 7CR. I would say that I've had this one for a while. Like I said, it's in my go bag. It lives in there. It's not the tool that I use every day. It just lives in that bag. This is the same exact tool. So I could swap them out, no big deal. Wait a minute. I don't think either one of them have a belt clip. So, yeah, either one of them have a belt clip. But I do know for this one, you could buy a belt clip. So if you could buy it for that one, you could buy it for this one. So if you're if it's a must that you have a belt clip, you could purchase that, and they're not very expensive on like AliExpress. You could probably get it on Temu. I haven't checked it. Even Amazon. A little more expensive on Amazon, but pretty much, guys, that's the same tool. I just wanted to kind of show you the Bibury. I see these a lot. I see them reviewed a lot. This is a solid, heavy tool equivalent to, I believe, the Surge, Leatherman Surge. I mean, it's a good, hefty tool. If it holds up like the Rock tool, I know the Rock tool is pretty solid. And, I mean, hey, these things are a quarter of the price compared to a Surge. But I'll leave a link in the description to both. If I can find the Rock tool anymore, I'll leave a link in the description. Tomato, take your pick. They're both pretty much the same tool. I guess it'll just come down to color and which clips or which belt system you like better. Anyways, guys, do me a favor. What do you think? Leave some comments. If you want a bigger multi-tool, you're looking for something like this, these are well made. I will say that for them. Do me a favor. You know how, by now you should know how to help the channel. You can do it one of three ways: merch shop, buy me a coffee, subscriptions. But like always, the biggest way you can help the channel is to give us a thumbs up, share it, like, leave a comment. Anyways, guys, that'll do it for today. Love y'all. See you on the next one.